strong company. They're not compared to BD. They're minute.
Absolutely. Like it's not even a thought. They're not even known.
Right. So is it that BD and Pyxis and Omnicell don't really have competitors in that marketplace, or they're just snipping at their heels all the time?
Those are the powerhouse. Those are the two powerhouses. If I had to guess, I would say that Pyxis and Omnicell have at least 80-something% of the U.S. market share when it comes to medication management.
Right, but that's in the IDN market. Is it also the same in the small regional, rural hospitals?
No, I mean using Pyxis and Omnicell is lower in those facilities, but I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. I'm talking about hospitals. I'm not talking about like LTACs and things like that. So you're 80. Yeah. The majority of there are very few standalone hospitals in the Southeast anymore. So the majority are all part of a system. So you might have a rural 80-bed hospital or a rural 100-bed hospital, but it's tied to a larger system. So they're just using what the system's using, but probably not to the degree that their larger counterparts are.
So when you were with Touchpoint, did you find that it was relatively a small company, but you still found that there's still a significant market out there, so it was relatively easy to go and make sales in this marketplace, even though you had Omnicell and BD picking up anything that looked like an IDN?
Yeah, so I wasn't on the medication dispensing side of the business with Touchpoint. I was on the OEM side of the business.
Okay.
So I was working with the medical device manufacturers. I can tell you though that the medication dispensing side of the business never achieved their number. I'll just put it that way. So it was there's definitely struggles there, and the struggles run a lot deeper than just being a small regional player. There's manufacturing struggles there. There's a lot of struggles at that company, and I'll just say the customer is definitely not first.
So what are the sort of manufacturing problems that they would have?
Say that again?
What you said, manufacturing issues. Do they make them themselves, or?
Yeah. So I mean, when it came to the dispensing side of the business, yes, they did a lot of the manufacturing, but they also acquired a lot of the components. So they didn't control their supply chain, if you will, but long lead times, challenges with the product, things of that nature. So just
that implies that if they had a unit going down in the field, they could have supply issues in terms of being able to go and maintain it and replace any parts.
Correct, but also selling a new account and the lead time to get new carts or new cabinets.
Oh, right.
Right.
How long was? When you say long, how long was long? Was it like months or quarters or?
So I really can't speak accurately to that side of the business, but I can tell you that on the OEM cart side of the business, which is literally just manufacturing a cart with very little to no technology in it other than, power strips and things like that. That right now is probably on a 36 to 40 week lead time.
Wow. That's quite a lot. Yeah.
Yes. So when you're a medical device manufacturer that needs a cart and the competition can get you a sample cart before you can provide a quote, that's not good for business.
That's not good.
Right.
That's not good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. All right. Because I actually had heard that they'd had huge problems with software on the Touchpoint side.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
May I don't know how much information you can share, but may I ask what you're trying to accomplish?
I'm trying to understand really who are the players in this marketplace, and how much of the competitive position they really have. And it seems to me as though they're really, apart from the Omnicells and the BDs of this world, there are just a lot of small players, and none of them, don't have any big market share. But then it also seems that when you look at Touchpoint, which seems to be one of the bigger players in the market, they've got a whole bunch of internal issues, which means that they have serious competitive issues. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Are you in this business? Are you in this marketplace or business?
I'm a researcher. I'm a consultant.
Okay, so you're working with companies then?
Yes, I'll be very honest. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to go and understand the lay of the land.
Are you working with Touchpoint Medical at all?
No.
What's that?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. Yeah. So
no.
Touchpoint Medical. I mean, do you want to specifically talk about Touchpoint Medical?
That would be very helpful if you could. Yes, that would be fantastic.
So I don't know how much you know about them, but they're a. I mean, they essentially appeared out of thin air, right? So
yep.
The company, the parent company, is a lock and latch manufacturer out of Pennsylvania, a 100-plus-year-old privately held company. Okay, and they were making a lot of locks and latches for the medical space. So they decided that they were going to invest in building a medical company. So they just went out and bought parts and pieces and tried to blend them all together. And that was a big issue for them. So they, acquired part of Metro. Are you familiar with Intermetro?
Yeah. No, I've seen that history. I've done my research. Yes, right.
Yeah. So you know that, right? So what they did was they took like 5, 6, different types of cow or wow companies and medication dispensing companies that had locations all over the country and in Mexico, whether it be manufacturing facilities or whatever. And they tried to put all that under one roof or most of it under one roof. And it's been a disaster to be quite frank with you.
Right. Okay.
The leadership so in the last, I would say between like 2019, once the new leader was put in place, in mid 18, by the end of 19, there was probably about 90% turnover at that company.
Wow.
And
okay.
I don't care what I share with you about it. I really don't. I was on one side of the business, like I said, the medication dispensing piece, and then the cart piece, the computer on wheels or whatever, was a different side of the business, and that is their focus. Like they are putting all of their eggs in that basket. They're ignoring the OEM side of the business, and they're still failing miserably. They've had multiple different commercial sales leaders come in there. They recently hired someone from GCX. Not sure if you're familiar with GCX. So GCX is a big, really more arms and mounts company, like wall mounts and arms for medical devices. But they also have carts, and they were bought up. That was a family-owned company. They're out of San Francisco, but they were bought up. I don't know. Sometime last year, I believe, maybe even in 2020, I think by like a venture capital company. I'm not positive on that, but they were definitely acquired. And so some of that leadership now is taking the helm at Touchpoint to try to right the ship. But it's just been nothing but problems there.
Wow.
When everything's a fire drill, nothing's a fire drill, and it just seems like it just seems like chaos. So. There's a lot of challenges there, from engineering to manufacturing to assembly to, I mean,